What's up, y'all? This episode of Q Points discusses sexually explicit song lyrics in detail. It is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Q Points Podcast. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J. Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. And Sir Daniel, we were here for the time when suddenly our radio got just a little bit more expansive in the way our artists behaved.
I like how you put that, expansive. You know, another word that starts with E, it became explicit.
It did.
It became like everything that was done in the back room or done, behind a curtain or was put into a paper bag was now on Front Street. And so we are talking about music, songs that are sexually explicit. And this is part of, J-Ray, this is part of our Summer of Sex series here on Q Points, because June is Black Music History Month, and it's also the summertime. And let's face it, y'all out there hunching, y'all are outside, and we've been outside for a very long time as the elder statesman in the room. And so we know that people are outside having fun and doing adult activities. And J-Ray, sometimes you just have to have a soundtrack to go along with that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about having a soundtrack, because I will confess, and I think I've talked about this on the show before.
We have,
we've had a I'm about to do a thing mixtape. But the interesting thing about the sexual mixtape is, I think, one, we grew up with a lot of different music from a lot of different genres that could end up on that tape. And you ended up with songs on that tape that we learned later as adults were sexually explicit and fit really well into the canon. But growing up as kids, we didn't always know. And I think what's unique about 1996, that's the year we're going to talk about, so these songs are 30 years old, is we were firmly in, we're just like saying the thing, and they are playing that on the radio, and that was crazy.
And sexual topics, sexual content in rap music has been around for a minute. 96 wasn't the beginning. At all. Jerry, do you remember what the acronym Adidas stood for?
Yes.
Stood for all day I dream about sex. Yeah. I mean, we were a bunch of horn dogs as kids, and that's just a natural thing. And of course, do you remember that one person that had the older brother that brought that magazine to school? But so get back to the music. There are a couple songs, a few songs that J. Ray and I selected from 1996 that we are going to rate on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being, I could play this in front of my mom, or 5 as absolutely not. This is way too disgusting for that lady to hear. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna start blushing if I listen to it in front of her.
Yes. Now, Sir Daniel, so this is you know what? This will come up in conversation, because like all of these songs that we're about to talk about in some way, shape, or form, remix or otherwise, did show up on our radio dials. So I feel like we should just kind of jump into the song. And let me tell you, why am I starting here? And the first one on my list is Akinyele's Put It In Your Mouth. We're going all the way.
Before I Met You.
Featuring, what was her name? Kia?
I believe her name was Kia Jeffries.
Kia Jeffries. Kia Jeffries. And this song has an Atlanta connection. So, so this song samples Brick's song called Fun. Brick is, of course, famous Atlanta-based band. Daz is their song that they're mostly known for. But of course, one of the lead of Brick was Sleepy Brown's dad. So this has a strong Atlanta connection. So the foundation of Put It in Your Mouth is Fun by Brick.
So to further the Atlanta connection, J. Ray, years after Put It in Your Mouth became a smash hit in the streets, India Arie took the same sample and flipped it for her song Video, which is a completely different subject matter. And I think she did that on purpose because India Arie is super intentional about about her music and the message that she puts out. So I Put It in Your Mouth. I think, J. Ray, for me, I discovered Put It in Your Mouth on a cassette sampler given to me, I believe, could have been Earwax. I think it was Earwax. Jazz and one of the fellas up there put it in my bag after I purchased something else and gave it away because I think it was a part of like a Loud Summer 96 sampler because that was on Loud Records, right? And I popped it in, not thinking of anything, just listening to the song. And the way it comes on, J. Ray.
Yeah.
Kia Jeffries is singing her face off.
Right.
It sounds like they're in a juke joint. The piano's playing. And it sounds like she's the opening act for Suge Avery. And she's just singing her heart out. And then she not whispers, but then she starts wailing, "Put it in my mouth." Jaw on the ground. I mean, literally floored, like, wait a minute, what's happening here? Where is this going? And then it goes into a full-fledged, the beat drops, it goes into a full-fledged tirade from Akinyele about his desires for oral pleasure and his desire to give and receive, and her part. Let me tell you something. You know what? Let's pace ourselves. I'm gonna pace myself because I'm getting ahead of myself. But yes, so that was my initial reaction, J. Ray, when I first heard the song. Where were you, and how did you come across the song, and what was your initial reaction?
I do not remember how I first heard the song. And, I was taking in so much music at the time. It could have been on a mixtape. It could have been on late night hip hop radio. Mm-hmm. But I must say, of all of the songs that we're going to discuss today, Put It in Your Mouth stresses me out. And I'm going to tell you why. It literally... Even at my big age, this song is stressful because Akinyele does a couple of things in this that are crazy. He is talking about chapped, I'm going to just say the words, we're getting explicit. He's talking about chapped dicks. Mm-hmm. He literally says in the song, and this is crazy, coming down your throat like chloroseptic. That is the craziest
with the gargling
line.
Noises.
Yes. Bruh, I remember listening to this song like, what in God's name? There's no God in this. What is happening?
God was not pleased. God turned his back and was like, what are y'all
talking about? So I don't remember where it was when I first heard it. So of course I remember, I knew there was a clean version. Mm-hmm. It had to be on the radio first because I heard the clean version first, which is crazy that this song played on the radio even in its clean form.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And when I heard the explicit version, like the original, I was just like out of my mind, floored, but also fascinated because Black people, we just so creative.
And so to your point, after Akinyele gives us, I think, a couple bars, then Kia starts singing her bars, and that's where it got, I don't know if stressful was the word for me. At this point, I'm thoroughly amused. and not in a bad way. I am literally just caught off guard by the whole song.
Yes.
But then when she starts singing, "Well, lick it, you can flip it, you can taste it. I'm everything." And the way she just goes in and talks about her desires as well, it just, the whole format of it with her singing kind of threw me off, and I just found the whole thing hilarious. But at the same time, I'm in the car like head nodding away,
it's like yeah,
it's hitting. In my little Ford Taurus, my little 96 Ford Taurus, I am bopping along to this song. And J. Ray, on a scale of 1 to 5.
Ooh.
Absolute. I mean, without for certain, without any kind of thinking, this is a number 5. Absolutely no way could I play this in front of my mother.
No. I absolutely agree with you. This was definitely a 5 on my list. So this song gets 10 points on the freakiness scale, because even if this song came on the radio today, and first of all, if this song came on the radio today and my mother was in the car, that means they're playing it during the day, and that is just crazy work. But if this song came on the radio and my mom was in the car, I'm literally changing the station. Even at my big age and her big age, I would be embarrassed to play this song. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. We have to switch it.
We got to switch it up. And so this song has come up again on people's radars because Akinyele and Kia were recently featured in Cadillac Chronicles. Did you catch that?
I didn't catch that. I didn't. Oh, here's why I didn't catch it. I caught the clip on Instagram. And I literally said, I said this to Kipper. I said, why was they out in the street singing "Put It in Your Mouth"? Like this is like an open air car thing.
Drop top Cadillac, yeah.
And I literally said, that's how much this song stresses me out. I was like, are they really out there singing this song in the streets?
But to that point, J. Ray, I think in 2026, 30 years later, I really think that song is tame these days. That song, because of what, not just because of music, the way how far music has pushed things, but just media in general has pushed things to such an extent that we're not, things like that don't really shock us anymore. We're exposed to a lot now that I don't even think, with the drop top and with the music playing loud, I really don't think people would even bat an eye. One, because the song it's a classic. It's a classic for all intents and purposes. And two, I think that the world is such a crazy place right now that song is a nursery rhyme right now in comparison to the things that we are going through in humanity right now. So
my Lord, today.
Shout out to Akinyele and Kia Jeffries. and I don't think it was, well, it could have been, it was a BMG mixtape. So BMG, whatever labels was under, because I think that album was under Stress Entertainment. So whatever labels were under the BMG umbrella was featured on that mixtape. So
yeah, and I remember the album cover for this had the dripping with the dripping raspberry juice on the fork.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on. I don't remember any of the other songs on that EP. Actually,
the follow up after that was so the clean version was called "Love Me for Free." But
Will
then
you love me for free? So next on my list in front of me is "Doing It" by LL Cool J. And Sir Daniel, in a second, I do want you to really give us a little bit of, because there's an interesting history of this song that you are uniquely positioned to talk about. But I do want to set folks up for LL Cool J is a fascinating character in hip hop who has had many eras of his career. So there's like 80s rap battle LL. There's like early 90s pop culture phenomenon LL. And then there's like mid 90s Ladies Man LL, and this is in mid 90s Ladies Man LL era. And doing it came at that point in time when L was just kind of leaning into his hit song hip hop bag, but also being the ladies man. So doing it is kind of that. Also accompanied by a very popular music video that includes a lot of models and go-go dancing, etc. But this song uniquely samples, but more than samples in a lot of ways, very famous hip hop joint, Wild Thing by Too Much. And I think that is a really interesting history, Sir Daniel, that I feel like we need to get into talking about doing it.
So, on the topic of rating these songs, and I'll say this at the beginning, I know we save it to the end, but LL's version of Doing It is actually, in my opinion, very tame in comparison to the original version by Wild Thing, lead vocals by LeShaun, aka Almond Joy. Shout out to LeShaun, because I know sometimes we follow each other on Instagram and she catches some of my the mixes and whatnot. And yeah, so if my grade for LL's Doing It is a 2. Like,
I'm a 2 too. Okay.
It could definitely be played at the family barbecue, because guess what? My mama and your mama are going to should me their shoulders just a little bit to it, because it's a groove. Just is. It just is. It's a bop, and doing it. Well, it's just something that people automatically will remember and start repeating over and over again. So the history for those of you who know, and for those of you who don't know, especially my Christopher Columbus generation kids, LL Cool J's Doing It is a remake of a 1988, as J. Ray said, underground hip hop song called Wild Thing by a group at the time called Too Much, which featured a rap artist by the name of LeShaun, aka Almond Joy, and her DJ Shortcut at the time. They were affiliated with the Native Tongues Posse. The record came out on Warlock Records. And I became familiar with that record via DJ Red Alert, because it used to ring off every Friday night. When it got a little later, DJ Red Alert would drop this song at that time she was 16, LeShaun, and the song samples Grace Jones. My Jamaican guy. My Jamaican guy. And so it's a very mellow, smooth track. And LeShaun, her rap matches the smoothness of the track. And so immediately this song is implicitly about sexual encounters with her love interest at the time. And it's explicit in the sense that she's very intentional about her desires, which was very forward thinking for a female MC at that time, especially at her age. She was very upfront about her desires, her wanting it as much or even more than the guy, and just describing where and how they were going to do it. And so the song keeps going, and at that point, this is like hot stuff for 1988.
Yes,
and we are like, and that's why it wasn't played until after a certain time on the Red Alert mix show. And so the song, J. Ray, literally the climax of the song, is Almond Joy, aka LeShaun, giving her best. And I think, didn't we do a episode about songs that contain orgasms?
We did. Go back and watch our show about orgasms.
Yes. We cover everything here on Q Points. You hear me? We're not scared at all. So the climax of the song is LeShaun having an orgasm, and the last thing you hear her say is Wild Thing. So fast forward 7 years later, LL Cool J is, to J. Ray's point, he's in his Flyboy era, and he drops Doing It. It's an immediate hit. It's an immediate ads and rotations on the radio. The video is a hit. But to my ear, I'm like, oh, that's LeShaun on the hook.
On the actual hook. Yep.
On the actual hook, which was out to, for me, you know, your female rap ambassador. For me, I'm like, oh, this is so cool that he actually reached back to her and brought her up and said, hey, I know this was your joint, and acknowledged her and put her on the record. But then when the video dropped, there was no sign of LeShaun whatsoever, because I was excited to see what she was going to look like. And, you know, and maybe this was going to be a new start for her, because she had a lot of false starts in the industry. She had an album that was supposed to drop. We were ready for the album. That didn't happen on Tommy Boy. Then she was a part of the Flavor Unit. So we thought something was going to happen with Flavor Unit. So there were a lot of false starts to the actual a full album release from LeShaun. And if you were a fan of hers, that was disappointing. And for her not to show up in the video, that was also disappointing. And so that caused a little bit of controversy for LL Cool J, and the media was asking, well, why? Where is LeShaun? Because hip hop heads knew who she was and knew that this was her song. And so when that came to a fever pitch, I think she appeared on a couple of performances, like on MTV or BET, some live performances. But then when the time came for touring, and for other videos and whatnot, she still was not there. And I believe at the time I had either just had a baby or she was pregnant. And so that, of course, brings up the whole, you know, women being body shamed, especially if you are pregnant, just had a baby, and weight comes into the equation. And so they've both talked about it ad nauseum, about both of their experiences. But LeShaun, of course, is the person that fully experienced it. And I believe you should go to her Instagram. She's talked about it numerous times and how she felt about it, and, you know, whether or not she felt that she was treated fairly. And yeah, I think she definitely deserves that recognition for setting that song off, because without her, all of y'all know her voice on LL's Doing It. All of you know her verse. And so I just think that was a very important time in history for female rappers, and for, you know, that was pre-Lizzo. And, you know, people being concerned about body shaming and accepting body acceptance. So she was leading the way and being a trailblazer from the very beginning. So shout out to LeShaun for making our number 2 song on this list. Even though the LL version is quite tame. I mean, very put Doing It up against Put It in Your Mouth. Please, you could play that at somebody's baby shower.
Exactly.
You could play that at the church function next time.
Yeah. Doing It is one of those songs. I grade these songs by, like, would it play on, like, daytime radio? I hear Doing It all the time. So, and my mom wouldn't care about Doing It, but I would play the song. I could leave the radio on and I would be bopping to Doing It, and she would just be like, sure. I would not be embarrassed. So we rate that a 4. So right now, Put It in Your Mouth is still number 1, because that was like a straight 10 for me and Sir Daniel. The last song, and we'll talk about, we have some other ones we'll add in ourselves, but our last official song that we wanted to talk about is a song that we talk about a lot, but we also talk about the remix of this song, and that is the original version of Lil Kim's Not Tonight, which was produced by Jermaine Dupri, who is on the song. Weirdly, and Sir Daniel, I think this is like, I think a thing that we do is we think Jermaine Dupri is saying JD, y'all, because that's what he always said, but that's not what he's saying. He's saying JM, y'all, which is his name too. He's Jermaine Dupri Malden, but he's saying JM on this song, which is very interesting because, of course, we know him as JD. But produced by Jermaine Dupri, samples George Benson's Turn Your Love Around. I had to sing it. And this song, for me, is top tier storytelling. One of the things that we forget about with Lil Kim is hardcore is really just like a masterclass in women storytelling. And I think Not Tonight is just like a fun song for her to like get her stuff off about these men that she's interacted with and she's having some sort of sexual interactions with. But typically, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, Sir Daniel, is typically as a way to get things. So there's like a reciprocation, but there's also an enjoyment in. So these men are kind of giving her money or giving her things, and she's giving them head or whatever else, right? But it's just kind of the story within Not Tonight. And yeah, it's a joint that we don't talk about, at least the original version, because we talk about the remix Ladies Night all the time. So
all the time. And again, shout out to the Christopher Columbus generation for make this song again has become, this version of the song has become popular again because of social media, because of a TikTok dance that a young man has put together who's also upset with Lil Kim because he hasn't been recognized by her for creating this dance. But that's a whole nother story, right. But so Not Tonight, the original version. I didn't even think about that. But yes, he was saying, I believe he was saying JM because for Junior Mafia.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah. He was saying JM,
Junior Mafia.
Junior Mafia. Okay. Because this was, I'm pretty certain, and when things get produced, they don't always, it's not linear like what we think is produced and put out and given to you. A lot of these things are produced and set to the side because at that time, Lil Kim and Junior Mafia were a thing. Yeah. And so it could have been part of the Junior Mafia project, or we didn't know if it was going to be part of the Lil Kim project. So I believe that's why he was saying JM, y'all. But anyway, so I will push back a little bit on you. I think what makes this song so titillating and so intriguing is the fact that I think that Lil Kim is withholding. Even though the whole hook of the song is I don't want dick tonight. Because and I have a very funny theory about that hook. So bear with me real quick. So the song is about withholding sex until you get what you want out of these dudes, right? Because my favorite lyric is could he come over right fast and fuck my pretty ass? I know we're gonna have to beat the hell out of this episode, but could he come over right fast and fuck my pretty ass? I'll pass, nigga. The dick was trash. If sex was record sales, you would be double glass. That I think that was one of the hottest lines on that song because it clearly spelled out like, yo, you really, this is the ladies of the 90s, especially the late 90s, have a clear concept of what it means to be a woman and how to navigate these relationships with men that clearly just want sex. Well, if you just want sex out of me, let's make this transactional. I need money. I need, you're a drug dealer out here. I know you got it. So you need to spend a little dough in order to have a good time. And so, okay. So my theory about the hook, J. Ray, the hook is, I don't want dick tonight. Eat my pussy right. Okay. Jerry, do you remember in the early 80s, the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial? We do chicken right.
Oh, yeah.
Eat my pussy right. So I'm thinking that is an interpolation of...
Yes. That makes sense.
Correlating Eat My Pussy Right with We Do Chicken Right.
I love us for real. I love black people for real.
I love Jermaine Dupri, the genius that you are. I love that. And the ladies are singing to the top of their lungs on that song. But yes. So if we were going to rate that song, I think because Explicit, yes. You know what? A 5. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 5. I was thinking it's not as bad, and I don't want to use the word bad, but it's not on the level of, it's not raunchy. but
No.
kind of. Put It in Your Mouth is raunchy on steroids.
Yeah.
Not Tonight is, the moral of the story is this. You been sticking this, you been sticking this. It's still explicit about sexual acts, but that little sliver of raunch isn't there, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I think, so I would rate this one a 4.
Okay.
So in my case, because this song has that whole like real storytelling angle, I think I can separate it from like the raunchiness of Put It in Your Mouth, where I just think it's like explicitly describing like sexual acts. This is more like this woman telling stories that involve sex. And I feel like that's a little bit more passable for me. Now, would I turn off the radio still if the original version of Not Tonight shuffled up, unless there was some clean version that shuffled up? I probably would skip it, because my mom would be like, now, what is this girl talking about? And
what she said?
What's she saying? But
eat what?
Eat what? But I do think, like, I see this is top tier storytelling for me. Like, it reads like like I could see these being like little vignettes, which is not a bad idea, Lil Kim. If you took Not Tonight and kind of broke these stories down into like, that would be masterwork. So Not Tonight got a score of 9. So right now, still at number 1 is Put It in Your Mouth. Number 2, Not Tonight. A distant number 3 is Doing It. Let us know, y'all. So y'all have listened to us talk about some songs from 1996 that were explicit and rate them. What are some songs on your list that we did not talk about? Let us know what the song is and what your rating for the song is and why you rated it that way. Because we'll pull together a playlist and we might just include your song on there. But we appreciate y'all tuning into Q Points and always supporting us. If you can see our faces and hear our voices, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We would appreciate it. Visit our website at qpoints.com. You can listen to our entire archive of shows. Make sure that you become a member. It helps to keep the lights on in Q Points land, and we would really appreciate the support. Check us out on Substack, where we have some additional content, and you can also shop our store at store.qpoints.com. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all.
Absolutely. And like I say in every episode, in this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, y'all.
And this is Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We will see you on the next go round. Q Points coming. Q Points coming. Q Points coming. Q Points coming.
Don't y'all be raising the roof out here this week.
Please don't. Don't do that.
Peace, y'all.